And so what
Killed
you
him.
didn't see was that she had her whip, her
Ching,
rope
ching, ching.
of
Yeah.
yeah, because she moved really fast,
Her
right? She
gauntlets.
blocked it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then used her rope to hold him in
Yeah.
place so that she could shoot him. So
Ah.
that's what was happening. Hey, what's up? And welcome back. I'm Kalani.
And I'm Frank.
And we are the Blockbuster Brothers.
Blockbuster Brothers. We watch movies.
And then we talk about them.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back. We are on episode 400. No.
It feels like episode 400, but I think we're on episode 7. Are we on 7? We're on Fast and Furious 6.
Yes.
But we're on episode 7. So Blockbuster Brother 7, BB7, FF6.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
All right, that's how we're going to do it from now on.
Yes. If we are wrong, we apologize. We do not have them in front of us.
We don't fact check our statements either. So
yes, and we care enough to send you to the YouTube channel to check out if we're lying or not. With that said, what are we watching? What are we talking about today, Frank?
Oh, we're watching The Notebook.
Notebook. Yes.
No, we're watching. Like I said, BB6. No, dang, BB7. Fast and Furious 6. Fast. You know what? They did away with the Furious. They're just accelerating now in the franchise. Yeah. They're not even angry anymore. So it's Fast 6. Was the last movie Fast 5?
I think this one is Fast and Furious 6.
Really?
The last one was Fast 5.
You keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
This is 35 large. Okay, that's what.
There's no way. This is Fast 6.
Is it Fast 6? So
you're right. You're right. It is Fast and Furious 6.
It is Fast and Furious 6. And so
good thing I didn't bet you 35 large.
Do you have the details on Fast 6?
I do. It came out in May 2013. It's directed by Justin Lin, who just off the top of my head, I believe directed Aquaman. I could be wrong. We don't fact check our statements here.
Let us know in the comments.
All of your favorites are back. Yeah, let us know. I don't know. I mean, like, we're literally filming this in real time. So it's just like, no edits. 9-hour episode.
Don't believe in editing.
If you enjoyed our 4-hour episode the last episode, it was a fantastic, super fun-filled episode. There were fireworks at the end. We served food. It was good. So I don't know how long this episode is going to be. But we're going to keep it under 10 hours.
Yes, that's the goal. That's the goal, under 10 hours.
But yeah, all your favorites are back. Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this movie is crazy. It's getting harder to take notes on these things. There's so much things happening simultaneously. And
it's like they had so much content for this movie. Like, there was 2 endings to this movie. Like, I thought the movie was over.
And then
it wasn't. It was like a whole nother ending. It was crazy. I felt like it was like Fast and Furious Endgame. Like,
yeah.
It felt like Civil War. Like, I'm worried about what's going to happen in the next Fast and Furious. But like, there were some moments that, like, I think I'm just gonna track how many snaps I have when I watch these movies, because I feel like there was like 5 or 6 snap moments that I had.
I had a few in this one.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
I had never seen this movie. This was the first time watching it. I watched it last night, and it was kooky dukes, man. It was crazy.
I still have the same love for all the characters. But it feels like these movies are getting different. Like,
you know what? Okay, and we'll talk about it. But I appreciate that the movie acknowledges literally the question that we asked at the beginning of this entire show.
Yeah.
How do we get from TV VCR combos
Yes.
to tanks and submarines? I kid you not. There is a line in this movie that answers that. It's like they're asking that question.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. It's so crazy. No. We'll get to that. It was nuts.
We will.
So was this your first time seeing it too?
This was my first time seeing it. I watched it 2 days ago, yesterday morning. Oh, things are going fast in my life. So
this doesn't feel like a morning movie watch. This like you watch this in the morning, your day is just like when you get in the car.
I started it 2 nights ago.
Bridges.
Okay. But I finished it the next morning. But
so it must have seemed even longer than for you because it was a long movie.
Yeah.
And you watched it over the course of a few days.
Yeah. Well, it was only the 2 endings. I had to watch the next day, mainly because of kids, but waking up. But I mean, we'll get into all the nitty gritty. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alerts ahead.
Yep.
And I think we have a kids in mind thing somewhere, but it's been since 2013. So if you haven't seen it yet,
it's on you. Like we always say,
if
you haven't seen it, stop the episode now. Go back and watch all of the Fast and Furious movies except for Tokyo Drift. Because we're following the timeline where Tokyo Drift happens after Fast and Furious 6.
Yes, correct.
It's very important that you do that. And I'm so glad that we're doing it this way because of this movie. This movie made me feel most satisfied about that. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And if you're joining us for the first time, stop watching this one. Go back and watch the other episodes. It's on YouTube. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's on the radio. It's the Goodyear Blimp is broadcasting it. I mean, the International Space Station. We're a huge hit on ISS. So
you can hear truckers on the CB radios. Giving you the play-by-play.
Sometimes on the wind, if it's really windy, you just close your eyes and listen, and you can hear
Pocahontas is singing it. Yeah.
Just painting the colors of Blockbuster Brothers on the wind for you. All right.
Kids in Mind score is a 4.65.
Oh my gosh. Kids should not watch this movie. Because when they learn to drive, they're going to have the wrong expectations.
I already have the wrong expectation after watching these.
Because you watched it in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yep, started my day too fast.
Something you watch after dinner. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the movie. How does this movie start off, Frank?
Well, it starts off at the ending of the last movie. And the last movie ended with a pretty epic race challenge between Brian O'Connor and Dom Toretto. They're on the beach. They're living the life of this. They're living the good life. They stole all the money, like $100 million from Reyes, the bad guy. Spoiler alert! It's your fault if you didn't watch the last episode. And they have this awesome. Dom has this awesome 2012, whatever year it was, Challenger, and Brian has a Skyline, and he challenges him to a race once and for all. No cheating, no bets, no 35 large, no VCR combos, just mano a mano. So at the end of the movie, they make like the movie Grease and they drive up into the sky. Now they drive up in curvy road and then it's done. So the beginning
they drive
of this
off
movie,
into a musical montage.
Total musical montage. And then the beginning of this movie starts off where the last one ended, like Back to the Future style, man. I like it. And so
I like how they do that.
Yeah, so they're racing in the mountains, and we're like, oh, we're finally gonna get to see who won. Yeah. And it leads you on this. It leads you on this. Who's gonna win? Because first it's Dom who takes the lead, and Brian takes the lead, and then they end up pulling into this beautiful house-looking building, and nuns
not in the
come running
favelas
out.
anymore.
They're not in the favelas anymore, and Agent Neves comes running out
Yeah.
who's Dom's new lady. She comes running out with the nuns,
Yeah.
and I guess it wasn't a race. What was it called?
No, they were heading to. What's your name? What's the agent's name?
Nevis, right?
Right. Nevis comes out, and
Yeah.
she's like just in time.
Yeah.
And it was a hospital. It was a Catholic hospital. There are nuns there. So yeah. And then Dom tells Brian, you're gonna be a good father. So Mia is giving birth in the hospital.
Yeah.
And Brian's like, how can you be sure I'm gonna be a good father? And he's like, because I'm gonna whoop that if you aren't. and so he goes inside, and he said, once you go in there, Dom is like, hey, once you go inside, everything changes. Remember
yeah,
that.
he's like once you go through that door, what is it? Everything changes. Our old life is done.
Changes.
But like, I mean, the writing is just like, everything I say is gonna come back and be totally different.
Yeah.
So everything's gonna change. We're not gonna be criminals anymore. Wink.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of winks in this movie.
There's this line right here comes up again and again. So I feel like this is the theme of this movie. Everything changes. That's right. I'm like, okay, we get it.
It's like they're pretty heavy-handed in each movie of like saying a certain statement, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like was it the last movie that they kept repeating like, I wasn't always a street racer, I had a life before this or something? Like everybody said that now. And
yes.
This movie has like four statements like that everybody like keeps repeating these statements. And these people are independent of each other and never spoke to each other about this thing. So it's not like I heard Kalani say it and now I'm saying it.
Yeah.
The writers wrote it into the script. So anyway, he goes, they have a baby.
I feel like
they have a 10-second baby.
Yeah. And he comes out 10 years old. Like the baby is huge. But
the baby comes out with his arms out.
I feel like Olaf should have came out and be like, some things never change. But,
you know what? I'd allow it just so Fast and Furious could be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Just throw an Olaf in there, and then
we would need less T-shirts bought, because then we wouldn't need to rent so much movies.
Right.
But after this scene, they got the baby. Everybody's happy. They start this whole recap montage. Right. This is where like we get the whole story play back for us.
When it's so crazy because the montage is so long. It's the intro to the movie, but like it's funny because the whole scene with the baby being born and stuff, I felt like, why didn't they just make that the end of the Fast 5 movie?
Yeah, right.
Because like this movie, the montage that they have is, it feels like a 15-minute montage. Yeah. And as I'm watching it, it starts in the very first movie and it shows every critical scene up until this movie. Yeah. For like, you don't even need to, you know what? I said go back and watch the other movies. Don't. Do yourself a favor. And they cut out the fluff and just watch the beginning of this movie and you're all caught up. I mean, down to like Letty dying, everything.
I feel bad now. We should have started here.
We should have started Fast 6.
We just wasted 4 other movies. Was it 5? Sorry. 4.
That's $15 of my hard-earned money that I spent on renting
these
other movies. I could have just, I'm sure the montage is on YouTube.
Yeah, we could have just done that.
You know what? If you haven't seen any of these movies yet, just go search for the intro to Fast 6 on YouTube. Watch that, and then watch this episode.
And then come back
But
here.
still listen to the other ones, because those are pretty fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what was crazy about this montage also?
Yeah. What was that?
It went in the order that we watched the movies, Kalani. Tokyo Drift was not included in the montage. So that confirms that even the writers of the whole movie franchise
Mm-hmm.
doesn't acknowledge that Tokyo Drift came out as the third movie,
Right.
that it comes out, and that the timeline is for after this.
And we were right.
Yeah, you were right. I didn't fact check. I don't fact check.
Good,
Yeah.
because I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't fact check me either. So they go through this
Yep.
montage. We see everything, and then it opens back up with Hobbs rolling up. Right? Is that the next part?
Moscow.
In
It
Moscow.
starts out in Moscow, and I was just like, I had to like pause and look at the title. I was like, am I watching a James Bond movie now? Because all of the other ones happen in like South America and like California and stuff. And like, we never made it to Tokyo, Han. Everybody really wants you to go to Tokyo in every movie, Han.
Yes. We're gonna remind everybody Tokyo's coming.
Yeah, Tokyo is coming. So yeah, Moscow. Hobbs is rolling up in a new Cybertruck. It's a different Cybertruck than the last movie. And he still has his goatee, but the goatee isn't as shoe polish black as the last movie. You notice that? He's got a little salt and pepper in this one, which means time has passed.
Yes.
That's how you know.
That's how you know.
And I have more to say about this goatee in this movie. This goatee is out of control in this movie, guys. Like, it should have its own credit. Like, I kid you not. It does disappearing acts in this movie.
Dwayne Johnson,
it's nuts.
Dwayne Johnson's goatee.
Dude, it's so fickle. It's like the goatee drank too much the night before and didn't leave his trailer, because there are some scenes. Where the heck is the goatee? Okay, so we'll get to that. I think I have a timestamp. I'm not sure. So yeah, they're in Moscow. Cybertruck's rolling up.
Yep.
It looks like a terrorist attack.
Yep.
And he gets out already wearing it up. Like, like he's locked and loaded with his one-liners. Like, he was ready. And I didn't even catch all the one-liners, but there's a new Neves.
Yep. He meets his new partner.
Who is it?
Right? It's Riley Hicks, played by Gina Carano.
If you don't know her Gina Carano throughout the whole movie, because I didn't know her name was Riley.
Yeah, Riley Hicks is because that's what he comes out is like, Riley Hicks, huh? You're top of your class, da 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 da, RSO, blah 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 blah. I like your smile. It's pretty much how it went down. Like, he didn't really say I like your smile, but
because he's not even talking to like a team of people. He's only talking to her, and he's telling her all of her accomplishments. Yeah. And I wish she was just like, yeah, I know, but like, it was so weird. So the Rock explains her career to her, and then he talks about a satellite component that was stolen. Yeah. Right. And then what else?
Well, if you don't know Gina Carano, she fought in the UFC. That's what Gina Carano was, and she was also in the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I did not know that she was a UFC fighter, but I did know that she was in. I was like, hey, there's I don't know her name in the Mandalorian either, but she's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
she's got like a teardrop tattoo in that show or something.
Yeah, right. And then she beats up the Mandalorian, right?
She beats up everybody.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! Gina.
Yeah. So anyway, they find Russian satellite was stolen. They did it in like 90 seconds, and they're like, this team, there's only one crew in the world that could do this, and we're all thinking,
it's like, oh yeah, yep.
And then here we go, and then they cut to an interrogation room.
No, wait, before that. Oh, the funniest, it was supposed to be serious, but it was pretty funny. There's a car that's like, they look up, and there's a car like on the 6th floor of a building, just like smashed. And I think Gina's like, how did that get there?
Yeah. She's the only sane one there.
And I thought to myself, like, have you not seen the past 5 movies? Right. Go watch that last movie. There was a safe that was flying through the air. So yeah. So I got excited because I was like, that's the kind of craziness of this movie. If they're starting with a car on the 6th floor, it's gonna be good.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
they caught one of the criminals.
Yeah. Riley Hicks is like, hey, sir, they caught one. And so then that's when they cut to the interrogation room, right? Or at the police station or something.
Right.
This was
So,
crazy.
so they cut to like a back shot of this guy, right?
Yeah.
And he looks exactly like Dominic Toretto. He's wearing a white shirt, bald head, and I was just like, "Oh snap! They caught Dom in the beginning of the movie. This is gonna be good."
Yeah.
And it cuts around, and it's like Vin Diesel's stunt double. I felt like I was watching Spaceballs. That scene in Spaceballs when the stunt people turn around, and the lady had a mustache. It was a dude.
The lady robot. Right.
I was so confused. I was like, did they mean to show the stuntman in this scene? But it was a decoy for the audience. Yeah.
Yes, it was actually part of our main bad guys crew named Shaw. Right. They were looking for a dude named Shaw, and this guy's not gonna tell The Rock anything. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you anything. And then the Rock to just ragdoll this dude.
No, before he does that,
room.
The Rock tells him, "I was hoping you'd say that."
Yeah.
He just like, dude, he body slams him into the ceiling.
Yeah,
twice.
Like nothing.
Like
just
I mean,
crazy. He destroys.
For those of you who are tuning in, like, you know what a body slam looks like. But how many times have you seen somebody pick somebody up by the chest and body slam them on the ceiling?
On the ceiling.
As if gravity doesn't exist. I thought he was going to lay the guy on the ceiling, climb onto the ceiling, and do the people's elbow upwards. It was crazy.
It was insane. And they cut to the behind the mirror, right? The two-way mirror. And Gina Carano's with this other dude. Yeah. And the other dude's like, "Is that legal?" And Gina Carano's like, "Nope, but are you gonna go tell him that it's not?" And you see The Rock throw this dude, Hobbs throws this dude into the mirror, and then up to the ceiling again.
Second time, yeah.
Second time, yeah. It was insane.
It was.
Yeah, and that was pretty much that. Oh, he got out of the guy that where.
Well, he comes out and Gina's like, "Was he talking?" And The Rock's just like, "Not anymore." Because he murdered that guy. It seemed like. I mean, the guy should be dead, right? Yeah. I mean, we can agree on that.
Yes,
there are immortals and terminators in this movie.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So
and then all the fallen we'll get to.
Yeah.
But,
and he finds out that Shaw's in London, right? So he says this. The Rock says, "You don't just pick up Owen Shaw like he's groceries. You want to catch wolves. You need wolves." I'm like, dude, like stick to one genre here. Like you're talking about vegetables and fruits and groceries, and then hunting wolves with wolves. Like you gotta
he loves his long one-liners.
Well, you can't combine the one-liners. Like stay in your lane. Grocery one-liner, wolf one-liner. It really takes the
takes
the oomph out of it.
Yeah, he definitely likes his metaphors. Then so he says we need wolves. Let's go hunting, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess they're hunting the wolves that they need to join them, right? So
they need to find wolves that are okay hunting other wolves. So like wolves from another area code. Yeah.
So they pick up and they head to the Canary Islands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spain.
Yep.
Where they find where we find Dom and Elena together,
Yeah.
And in the Canary Islands at Dom's beautiful house, beautiful casa.
Yep.
And who shows up?
Well, Dom wakes up and he goes out onto his veranda, and he has this barbecue that's made out of an engine block. And I mean, like he's getting up to barbecue some breakfast because he's
Mhm.
waking up at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he turns around and The Rock is standing right there.
Yeah.
And Dom's not even phased. I mean,
Yeah.
him and his lady just woke up. His lady is barely dressed, not even concerned that The Rock has been on his veranda for who knows how long.
Right.
You know, one thing I want to
Yeah.
say about The Rock in this movie, I really appreciate how less sweaty he is compared to
True.
Fast Five. Like Fast Five, like, I mean, if there was a scene in the Arctic, he would have been sweating. He was sweating
Yeah.
so much in that movie.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the heavy goatee that he was wearing in that first movie.
It was.
This movie,
Yeah.
lighter goatee, less sweat. I mean, he's standing in the sun, doing totally fine. So
I watched it and was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna need a fan this next one."
you think The Rock can control his own sweat?
You know what? The goatee can control The Rock's sweat.
Between shots, he's just ripping it off and dabbing his head. Then he puts it back on his face. So dumb. Maybe that's why the inconsistency in the goatee.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So The Rock, Hobbs is like, so this is what 100 million buys, and I think they had this conversation like, so you happy, Dom? You happy here in the Canary Islands? And he's like, I like it. It's quiet. You know, no extradition.
Yeah.
So they learned the big word, and and then what's her name comes out, right? What's her?
And the Manila folder comes out. She
Oh,
pulls out the
that's
Manila
right.
folder, and Nevis comes
Yeah.
out. He's like, "Hello, Nevis. You're not dressed." So she puts on clothes, and then he pulls out this Manila folder, and he was just like, "I need your help, and you're gonna help me." No. You're gonna beg me to take this job. And he's just like, I'm done, man. I'm not. There's nothing you can offer me.
Yeah.
And The Rock says this statement that he says, I feel like 5 more times in the next 5 minutes to different people.
Yeah.
But he basically throws this manila envelope and says, this was taken a week ago.
Yeah.
That's it. So Dom opens the manila folder, and it's
he's like, I'll see you outside.
Yeah.
Rock leaves. He's like, I'll see you outside.
Yeah.
Very confidently.
Yep. So this takes me to my first whole snap of the night. He opens the folder, and whose picture's in it?
Letty.
Oh,
It's
snap!
Letty.
Oh, snap! Dude, it was good. It was really good. Yeah. Yep. And I'm glad that they didn't use just a still shot from one of the previous movies. It was an actual photo of the actress.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Neves just knows already.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, it's Letty, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Dom
she tells him to go, right?
Yeah. Which isn't real, by the way, either. But yeah, Dom's
that's the
just
fake
like,
part of this movie.
Yeah. So Dom goes out and talks to The Rock, and he's just like, all right, no team, just me. I'm all you need. The Rock's
like, no, that's not how this is gonna work. We're gonna need a whole team because this dude, these dudes hit like thunder and disappear like smoke.
Don't let them get into cars.
Yeah. And he says, I've been chasing this guy through 12 countries. I'm not here trying to hand out Girl Scout cookies. I don't know what that means. Oh
man, Rock, come on, dude. You know what I think it is? Okay, so it's not his fault. If the writers are just like, they're just like, what's the dumbest thing we can make The Rock say?
Yeah.
Like let's make him tell Vin Diesel about Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
I bet you he won't say it. And then he said it. And when he says it, like, people are still like, "Ooh,
yeah,
that was menacing." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anybody else say it?
It doesn't matter what The Rock says.
It doesn't matter.
So we know that they're gonna try. They need to get the team together, right? That's what we leave this scene knowing. And so it cuts to Roman, right? Roman on his private jet.
Yep. He got like 5 ladies. And he's like promising them all kinds of buffet dinners. And because they're going to Vegas. And it's
they're going to Macau.
Oh, Macau.
Because he's like, you ever been to Macau? You ever been to Macau? No. Well, you haven't seen Macau until you've seen him through Roman's eyes. and he's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, penthouses, beaches, cars, whatever. You're gonna have the time of it. And then some girl had her line, right?
She's like,
that was so funny.
You
guys are about to have the time of your life.
And she's like, no, you are.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid for this, right?
About her one line.
Yeah, she was so stoked about that line, man. She's like telling the director, "Can I take it again?"
That actress. Yeah. Good for her.
Oh.
In 20 years, we'll probably see her in Fast 20 as one of the main characters.
Fast 20 is the pilot of the private jet.
As the pilot of the plane. So that was Rome, and then we cut to Tej. I don't even know where he is. I think that everybody's.
It seems like South America, and he's got like a F1 McLaren sitting there, and he's at the ATM. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Which, I mean, like, the car is awesome. I don't think the roads over there are...
No, especially the road that he was on at that moment. How did you get that there?
How did you even...
Did you back
The car's got like 1-inch clearance.
Yeah.
And it's completely flat underneath.
Yeah.
Anyway, these guys are ragging on him. And they're talking about like how money changed him and stuff. And usually like, yeah, you know what? Money did change me. Also to note that Tej has progressively, as these movies have gone from clothes that are 10 times too big for him to no clothes at all. Because this one, he must have been working out before this movie, because like he's just like ripped physique. Up, and he's just like, I'm not gonna need a shirt for this scene. Yeah, like he's just So he comes
went
out.
to the
No
director.
more
Like, can I please take off the shirt?
Afro.
Yeah,
it's all gone. He donated his hair for The Rock's goatee, and he's not throwing attitude or anything. He's very like straight cut now. And basically, he presses a remote, and the ATM blows up with money, and all the kids are grabbing at it. So this is kind of a montage introducing where everybody is and what they use their money for. Right. So I guess he gave up his dream of after he made $100 million to open up a 9-to-5 job of a garage. I mean, I know we saw it at the end of that movie, but
when they drove off, he left it behind.
Never came back.
Yeah. And then so Han and Wonder Woman are in China talking about settling down. And then this is where I guess Dominic made the call, or Hobbs made the call to collect them all. Because
this is so funny.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and Han sitting at like a street food vendor, and all these Chinese cops roll up, and like they stand up. Han and Wonder Woman stand up, and they got like 2 guns each, and they got their arms. They're like back to back. And it's like they're reenacting Desperado. It's so funny.
That was so funny. It was Antonio Banderas all over again.
Everybody's just like, nobody's speaking. Everybody's just like spinning slowly with their gun.
Yeah, and Han brings out his guitar case and starts pulling out guns.
I was waiting for him to press a button, and then the guitar case like has a turret that comes
bazooka.
Out. Yeah. So the Chinese police, one of their flip phones ring, and she just throws the phone at Han. The whole thing, they rolled up, pulled guns, and then threw a phone at him. So he answers it, and then it cuts back to everybody else answering their phone, and it's just like, the bat signal has gone off. So
yes,
these street racers are needed again, right? Time to save the world, guys.
So they get the call, and we cut back to Brian and Mia's casa, to their house, and they're hanging out with Jack. Jack is their son, and Brian is giving him little like import cars, and like he's like talking to him about his Skyline, and then when Dom pulls up, right. And
and it's serious, Dom, because he's wearing a black tank top this time.
Oh yeah. This is how we tell his emotion. Since he has trouble smiling, we went to color code. his emotions.
It's just like, guys, if he's wearing a white shirt, it's a good day. If he's wearing a black shirt, it's a bad day. It's like
Watch
51st
out.
Dates. We gotta we gotta remind him who he is again tomorrow. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll play a videotape in one of the VCR combos, and he'll remember. Put the pineapple out. Don't forget. So yeah.
But Uncle Dom shows up and is like, "Here's a muscle car toy for you, Jack, because we love cars in this family.
Toretto's love American cars.
You have to choose, Toretto's love American muscle." And so then it cuts to them having a conversation. Brian and Dom having a conversation, and he's like, it's like we got everything. We got from all the way down to the beer and the barbecue, but something doesn't feel right. Something's missing.
You know what it is, Brian? Crime.
You guys are criminals.
That's exactly what I said to the screen. It was just like, we got it all. I don't know what's missing. Yeah, crime. That's what holds you guys together. You guys keep doing crimes together, and you're addicted to the crime. Don't act like it's about the family. You guys enjoy stealing stuff together. Yeah, didn't you ever see
TV
Speed?
VCR combos is not enough. It just has to get more.
It's the gateway.
More.
It's the gateway drug.
It's the gateway.
And you're stealing safes. Look at what you're stealing in this one.
Oh my goodness. Is this really worth $1 billion? Everything's changed. Everything has changed.
Yeah. So Dom pulls out the manila folder, and it was just like, well, it looked really cool when The Rock did it. So he throws the hands down the manila folder, and he's just like, this was taken a week ago. And I'm just like, did I stop paying attention and accidentally rewind the movie? So yeah, so then Brian does his best to look at it, and he's not even fazed. He's just like, listen, man, I was a cop for a long time. He's just messing with your head. This is what they do, right?
Which I have to question that. Was he a cop for a long time? Because he was a rookie as FBI, right? And it seemed like in the first one that he was also a rookie, like undercover cop. He was like, because he wasn't very high on the totem pole back then.
You know what? I think their sense of time is kind of skewed, because remember when Dom in the first movie was just like, I was locked up for a long time.
Yeah.
3 years. Just like, so now we know a long time in their universe is 3 years. So he was a cop for 3 years. And in that time, he lied to a lot of people about people in photos.
I question another thing that comes up later about his cophood. But but yeah, so he thinks it's fake, right? And that he's just trying to get to him. But Dom is like, I gotta find out.
I need to know for sure, he says.
And then
I'm going alone.
Yeah. And then Brad's like, no, you're not. And then Mia comes up and is like, yeah, I was eavesdropping. I was nowhere near the conversation, but I know what's going on. And you guys are better together.
Yeah.
You guys should go get Letty.
That's not real. Because there's no way. There's no way.
No way.
Your wife that just had a newborn baby is just like, go with my criminal brother to do more crime.
More appropriately would have been in The Incredibles, Frozone's wife.
Yes.
She's like, where do you think you're going?
She's just in the house. She doesn't even pop her head out. Like, she's just like, no, Dom, I'm going with you. No, you not.
No, you
just
not.
in the back.
That would have been better.
It's so funny because, like, I wanted Brian to say, we're better together. And then Mia say, no, we're better together.
Yeah.
Baby.
I'm the greatest good you're ever going to have.
Yeah. And then Mia should have been like, hey, Don, remember that time you told Brian, as soon as you go through that door, our old lives are over? Remember that? I'm going to need you to remember that right now. Because there's a newborn baby here, and you're going to take my husband to go do a crime.
A dangerous one. Yeah.
Dude, it was so fake. That part was super fake.
Yeah.
She's like, we're a family. We got a problem.
We're a family.
We solve it together. And I was just like, yeah. poor newborn baby. I guess he's not part of the family yet. He has to steal some cars because he's duck soup right now.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be an accomplice or something. Let's go, Jack.
Stronger together. Now leave me and my newborn baby unattended. That's what. So that's the end of that scene. Cut to the next scene, and it's total Chris Nolan Batcave. Like it looks like the Dark Knight.
Alfred is in there.
Lair, all concrete and stainless steel. It's either Chris Nolan's Batcave or an Apple store without any of the tables in it.
Right.
Because it's just
either one.
It looks really cool, and it's just got weapons, and it's got all these fancy cars in it, and all of the team is there, and Rome is just running his mouth.
Yep.
He's just like, what? Now we work for the Hulk?
Yeah. It's like, I smell baby oil.
Every time. He's like, why do I smell baby oil? It's so dumb. And then The Rock shows up.
He's like, you're going to smell what The Rock is cooking if you don't.
Yeah, so The Rock rolls in, and he's talking about, like, there's 3 targets that they have to get through. And as he's talking, Rome notices Han. And if you saw the last movie with Han is always eating, like every scene. Like this guy must have had a serious smoking problem because he is just needing to eat didn't he eat a corn dog in the last movie too?
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember
I think he ate
exactly, but I'm pretty sure.
He's eating a snack in this, and Rome is looking at him, and he's just like, you got any more in that? He wants some of the food, and it's gone. So then he goes to Tej, and he's just like, you got any spare change? And he's like, man, you're rich.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how you stay rich.
That's how you stay rich.
So he's in the background while The Rock is like telling the plan to everybody, including the audience, and Rome is trying to count his change. And I don't know if he says anything, but The Rock pulls out his gun and he shoots the vending machine, so it just shatters the glass.
And everything pours out.
It's on the house.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. That was good.
That was funny. That was good. And so they're looking for so the Hobbs starts explaining. I think Dom is like, Dom says something. So Hobbs, you got the best crew in the world in front of you right here.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a reason to stay. Right.
Right.
And so he's like, we're looking for Shah, and he starts going down this list of, he's part of this SAS spec crew, and Tej knows what kind of crew, this mobility crew. Tej is like, oh, they're the worst, right? Or they're the best.
Tej, I don't know what Tej did before this. Like cracking safes.
And they introduced him in Too Fast, Too Furious as some kind of like thug dude that had a past.
He just had like jet ski races in his backyard. He was just a party promoter.
If he was something before that, like he really just like let go of his past, right? For
either that or he was like some serious James Bond undercover, like
right. And he was just,
you know what I mean? Because like in this movie, he is Overwatch. He's always Overwatch now, and he's like full on hacker mode, like So the Rock is talking about this Nightshade device and this chip that can basically, it's a tech bomb that can disable a military grid for 24 hours, and the implications of that is like crazy, right? So it's worth billions.
It's worth billions.
Billions, which is one giant.
One giant. Not
one.
We're not dealing in larges anymore.
We're not large. I think we're in the gargantuan.
Yeah. So
if we're at billions on Fast 6, man. If we get into trillions.
Imagine.
Oh man, if Fast and Furious 7 has to do with
that is crippling
the economy and selling off our debt to China.
Oh,
I doubt it. I doubt it. No. But if it is, that would blow my mind that I guessed it right. For those of you watching, I would give you Fast 7. You would give me a golf clap.
Yeah, it would be a little bit more. But so they dropped the Letty bomb, right?
So he
You're
pulls
like-
out the manila folder.
Yeah.
Like he just has like he has a jacket full of manila folders, and he just
He's
pulls
like,
it
"One
out.
for you.
He
One
throws
for
it.
you.
He was like, "This was taken a week ago. This was taken a week ago. This was taken a week ago." And some people who are opening the manila folders just like, I don't even know who this is. Who is this? Am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to know who this is? So he tells them that, you know, he wants to make the family whole again, and that, you know, I know I was hunting you in the last movie, but I need your help now. So he's asking for help, and Brian is kicking it up with Nico. He's just like, no, here's the terms of the deal. If we help you and we find Letty, then we want full pardons.
Full pardons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rock's like, I can't do that. Brian's like, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And
I
Dom
was a cop
steps up
for a long time.
for a long time. And for 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
And I know that you can do this.
In this universe, people retire at 3 years. That's all.
Yeah.
That's their 30. That's 3 large.
Yeah. I think Stasiak is on his 3rd year now.
Stasiak, yeah.
Stasiak. Yeah, and then Dom's like, that's the deal, take it or leave it. And Hobbs is like, you get me Shaw, you got a deal. You got your pardons.
Yep.
And Brian's like, okay, if we're gonna do this, guys, this is a whole different level. All right. We ain't dealing with no Reyes's anymore or no Bragas. We are dealing with a Shaw. And Roman's like, we're getting paid though, right? Thank you, Rome.
Thanks, Rome. Yeah, I actually liked him a little bit more in this movie.
Yeah.
So, like, they instantly have a lead because Dom. I put in my notes. Dom's stuntman has to positive ID Shaw before the police can move in.
Right.
So they set up a meet between the guy that The Rock I thought killed in the
They called him his
interrogation room.
punching bag.
His
I forget
punching
who
bag.
said it, but someone's like, hey, Hobbs. Oh, Tej, I think, says, like, oh, your punching bag is moving in.
Dude, his face should look like hamburger meat. But, like, as you'll find out,
should at least have a limp.
Nobody, like, bleeds profusely in this movie. There are tiny cuts that you'll see, like a little sliver of blood. There's barely any blood in this movie. It's insane, which is why I believe half of the cast is Terminators in this movie. It's nuts. So they set up this meet in an underground parking garage.
Yep.
And Dom's stuntman has to go meet Shaw, and he's like wired up, and he has to ID Shaw by saying, "It's you, Shaw," or something. Right? And like, so he heads in, and outside the garage, there's like 1 million police officers in riot gear that are not even hiding.
Yeah.
They're just
out in the open, lights blaring.
Yeah.
Like on megaphones, Batman spotlights. Like
they've got the loudest like cocking guns. They're like,
yeah, they're actually shooting their guns already. Hey, keep it down.
I think I heard one of the cops who was just like, hey, is this the Shaw ambush? Yeah, it is. Get over there. It's about to go down.
All the crooked cops need to be here. But
how do you think this goes? Yeah. So he goes in, he sees Shaw. Shaw has the coolest looking car I've ever seen. It's basically a Batmobile. It looks like something that Chris Nolan's Batman would drive. Am I right?
Yeah, it does.
It's crazy. I can't even explain it, but like it's basically like half an inch off the ground.
Like a Formula One race car, kind of, right?
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of like the what is that car? I forget its name. It's not the Koenigsegg. I think it's the Koenigsegg. Yeah. Reminds me of that though. With like, yeah. So anyway, it's
metal,
a Batman car.
bulletproof.
I said it's a Batmobile. And
in my notes, I called it the bulletproof ramp car.
Oh, well. Batmobile rolls off the tongue a little bit better. I don't know what you call it, the bulletproof rumpmobile. If you say it fast enough, it sounds like Batmobile. Batmobile. Bulletproof rumpmobile.
I do like the Batmobile. My name is a little more functional.
There's a lot of good comedy in this movie. I like the jokes in this movie. Man,
we'll get to that one.
We'll get to that one. So anyway, the goon is in there, Dom Stuntman, and he's just like, I didn't tell the cops nothing. Shaw's like, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah. Here, in fact, here's a bag of money.
Yeah.
I put a little something extra in there for you. Okay, so when one of the most dangerous people in the world tells you that they put something extra in there for you, it's like when Fat Bastard from Austin Powers tells you that he left a rosebud in there for you. Don't trust him. Just be like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna go. You gave me a lot of money last time. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm not greedy. But he takes the bag like a fool, and there's a bomb in it because Shaw drives out. He blows him up. It blows up the entire parking garage above him, where all the cops are conspicuously lined up.
Yes.
Perfectly.
So this is the first mass murder scene,
dude. Okay. There's like 150 people that just instantly die.
Yeah. Because he's driving us.
Dom, they're not even phased. They're just watching it happen.
Yeah. They're like, oh, so.
It's not shocking to them. They're just like, they turn around and they're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. And while this is happening, simultaneously, Tej gets a notification that Interpol headquarters is being robbed at the same time. And so they put 2 and 2 together, and they're like, oh, this is just distraction from that. So Dom is like, Brian, take the team, go to Interpol. Me and Hobbs are going to stay here and
chase Shaw.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Brian and them take off, and then as Shaw leaves and kills all the cops and starts driving away, Dom and Hobbs jump in their cars and start taking off after Shaw. Yeah.
And let me just say something about this Batmobile. I've never seen a car move like this before.
Right.
Like, it drives straight, but did you notice that it can just like laterally slide sideways? Yeah. It was crazy.
They had cables on it like in the train, and it would just drag it across the road.
This car was designed to fly at 45 degree angles. Yeah. It's nuts. Like, I was just like, where's a train when you need it? If you don't understand this joke, you got to go back and listen to all 4 parts of the last episode we did, because there is physics problems all over the place in the last movie, and there is 0 physics in this movie. None.
Did not exist in this universe.
None. There is none. I kid you not. Like, I tried it today. To confirm it. I drove in a car and I tested it out, and guess what?
Physics
exists in real life, but not in this movie. Okay, so Dom's team, Dom and Hobbs are chasing Shaw, right? Shaw is murdering so many police officers. There's like every cop car in his way is just being flipped. And what does The Rock say? The Rock looks in his rearview mirror at cop cars that are blowing up with people in them, and he just looks in the mirror, and I wrote in my notes, he goes, sorry about that, boys, and then he looks back and he just keeps driving. Like,
he was probably in the trucks in Too Fast Too Furious that ran over the Mustang, dude, didn't turn around,
because that's exactly what's happening in this one, man.
Like, he just did.
Oh, there's a whole lot more of that later on in this movie, man. Yeah. So Brian's team kind of catches up. They get closer to Interpol. They're like 12 blocks away. And Shaw has another second Batmobile with this girl, this blonde-haired girl driving.
They get into a shootout. The bad guys have like super machine guns, and Tom's crew comes out with handguns, and they're having a shootout with these super guns. And
Dude, but
then
don't they
comes
also have a sniper on the roof
and
that
the
has this
sniper.
mega sniper rifle?
Yeah.
Like, did you see the size of the holes in the car? It looked like when the
Yeah.
T-1000 got shot in
Right.
T2.
Yeah, and
It was a huge
Yeah.
holes. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, and all of our heroes survived.
All survived.
Good thing.
Nobody gets shot.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Nobody.
It's
Because
nuts.
they're Terminators.
Dude,
And
they are.
yeah. So then the other supercar comes out. The other Batmobile
Mhm.
comes out,
Mhm.
and we're like, oh snap! And it's a little blonde girl inside, and
Yep.
they start taking
shooting
off.
these little. They start shooting these little hockey puck things, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh snap! They've upgraded the grappling hooks from the Too Fast and Furious.
Yes.
It's an
Yeah.
electromagnetic pulse, but it wasn't an electromagnetic pulse. It's
No.
actually these hockey pucks were shot at Brian's car. I want to say Rome's car.
Mhm.
Was it Han's
Yeah.
car too?
Yeah.
Or
All the
Tej's
cars,
car?
I think.
Yeah.
No, it's Tej, Rome, and Brian, right?
Yeah. So
And
what we find out is those hockey pucks are connected to a computer, and the bad guys in the front in the Land Rover are like disabling the steering column on Rome's car or whatever.
and they're controlling it, right? Like making it
They're
go into the
controlling
wall
it.
and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because because they were Beamers. Were they Beamers? They were
black
BMWs,
Beamers,
right?
yeah.
And
Mhm,
they're all
mhm.
electrically ran,
Yep.
and so
Yep.
they were able to control them, right? And I thought
So-
they were, dead. Like
Dude,
the way
I
they
kid you
crashed.
not. I kid you not. So Rome, they drive him into a wall, and
Yeah.
he flips his BMW like 10 times, it looks like, and it lands on its roof, and his roof smashes flat.
Yeah.
And I put in my notes, pancaked. Rome should be dead.
Yeah.
So Brian, so Brian's one, the hockey puck landed, it didn't even land on his hood. It lands on his front bumper, on the lower part of his bumper, which cannot be seen from the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
But what's crazy is he drives like straight up to a pillar, full speed, and he knows to turn at the last second to clip that hockey puck off of his bumper without even denting his bumper.
It is like 3 millimeters wide, but he's able to like smash it off. It was his skill is amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it cuts back to Dom and Hobbs, and they're chasing Shaw through the tunnels and stuff. Crazy
right. And
scene.
then I think
so much
Brian then meet up with them, right? Finally, at that point.
Yeah. So Brian goes head on with the Batmobile, and he flips.
Oh,
and he also should be dead. Right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's the end of Brian now, and he's laying upside down, and he doesn't have a roll cage. Kalani,
right.
he should be dead.
Doesn't. He should be.
And then the other Batmobile, the Batmobile pulls up, and it's this lady, and she like winks at him as she drives by.
Blondie winks at Brian,
and Brian just bleeds back. He's not even bleeding. He's not even bleeding.
He's not. Yeah, and so he's out of it, and then I think at this point, Dom and Hobbs sandwich Shaw, and it's not even phasing the Batmobile. And that's when Letty comes in her car.
Yeah, dude.
And just by the way she drives, Dom knows it's Letty.
My girl. It's
and
Letty.
He takes off.
He chases her
after Letty.
Yeah.
So, and Shaw somehow gets above. I'm sorry, Hobbs gets above Shaw on like a freeway.
Yes.
Shaw is below. Hobbs is like, take the wheel to Miss Carano.
So here's where the physics gets insane. Okay, Kalani. Like, I went back and I replayed this scene like 4 times, and I'm just like, is that real? And this is what I tested today. So
yeah. Oh, you jumped out like that too?
Yep. I did. I was on the airport viaduct, and I was like pacing with a car below, and I looked because that's what he was doing. He was pacing with a car going like 100 miles an hour below him, and he has Gina hold the wheel. This is The Rock, and he just jumps out. He does without hesitation. Like there's no like, you know, when you like gauge, he just like jumps full, and he moves through the air at the same speed and lines up exactly like he falls straight down.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how physics work.
No.
Because if you jump out, you immediately slow
law?
down. You immediately slow down, and everything that continues to move forward will move forward. You don't have propulsion.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so once something's in motion, it gets carried with the other vehicle, the other thing that is in motion.
it's magnetically connected to the car that's going 100 miles an hour below.
Yeah. So anyway,
it was insane.
The Rock jumps off, defying everything, science, lands on Shaw's car, and falls right off. So that was, and then Shaw,
which he should be dead also. But you know what's interesting is that like Shaw and the other girl, basically the two Batmobiles, it's nighttime, and there are no headlights on this car.
Yeah, it's like the desert.
I don't understand. Yeah, exactly like the desert scene in, was it Fast and Furious, or
I think Three Fast, Three Furious.
Three Fast, Three Furious. That's not, So so the next scene blew my mind because they're back at the Chris Nolan Batcave, right?
Right.
So leading up to this, I believe that Rome is dead. I believe that Han and Wonder Woman is dead, and Tej is also dead, because we just saw their cars like destroyed in the middle of the city, right? Pancake.
Destroyed.
They're just dead. There's all these cop cars that are just destroyed. The whole city. The whole city
should be mourning. Yeah.
Right. It's like after it's like in Man of Steel when Superman destroys Metropolis fighting. Like, where's Bruce Wayne? He needs to come and just be mad about this. You know what I mean? We can't trust Dominic Toretto. So like, it's back in the Batcave.
I think you notice coming for that.
Did you notice that all of the smashed cars that were in the city are lined up in the Batcave, all smashed? Rome's car is like right there, and they're like, and Wonder Woman and Han are sitting. They're sitting on their smashed car, like posing, and Rome is just fine. He's just like,
I feel like Jimmy and what's his name from the first one should come out with like wrenches and be like, fix them, like Jimmy from Too Fast Too Furious and and what was the guy from the first one? The guy with the Jetta. Jesse and Jimmy should have been like with like hammers, like mallets, and be like, fix them, and then
just mallets, and the cars are like shiny and polished and dent free.
Yeah,
just get those
but
guys
there's a
paycheck,
line,
you know?
Right? There was a line I thought was funny. I think it was Rome that said it. He's like, "This is not Brazil." Because in the last one, it was.
He said, "This is Brazil.
This is Brazil.
Brazil.
Brazil."
And all the lawyers
and
attorneys came out with their guns, and The Rock got scared.
But this is not Brazil. It is no longer.
It's not your grandma's Fast and Furious, guys.
This is not.
So nobody has any scratches, and Brian is not dead. He just calls Mia. He calls her up and.
Yeah. What did he say? What did he tell her?
He calls Mia and he just says, she's like, "Did you find Letty?"
Oh.
And he's like, "It's complicated."
And she's like, "I don't want to hear it."
So we forgot to say before they arrived at the Batcave, the last scene of the chase is that Dom catches up with Letty, and he
that's right.
He hits the back of her car so she fishtails, and he gets out and he's just like, "Hey!" He's all stoked, and Letty just gets out and she just pops a cap in his chest, and then it cuts back to the Batcave,
Yeah.
And then everybody's alive. And then after Brian gets off the phone with Mia, he's like looking for Dom, and Dom is standing there now shirtless, and he
We
is
don't know his emotion right now.
He's removing the bullet from his chest by himself, and there is zero blood.
Yeah.
Even on the bullet, I think the bullet had a drop.
Yeah,
but there is nothing.
He doesn't have any concentration or anything either. So,
dude, there's nothing. He's got gauze on it. Like, it's the laziest scene ever. Like, he's holding the gauze like this, and it's like a sleight of hand magic trick. He just like pulls the bullet from under the gauze, and it was just like, where'd this bullet come from? So that was the first scene that I was just
was funny.
Dom might be a Terminator.
Yeah.
Remember that. So
everything changes.
Yeah, and he's just like still believing that, he's still believing that Letty's good. Brian's just like, maybe Letty's gone to the dark side.
Maybe not.
And he's like, you don't turn your back on family even when they do. Yeah. I am Groot. And like, it was funny because like, I was like, he's either a Terminator or he's an alien at this point. He's an extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial. So we now head to Shaw's headquarters, and I think
we go to Shaw's Batcave.
Shaw's Batcave, from Hobbs / Toretto's Batcave to Shaw's, because we don't know who the leader is of the pack. It's either Dominic or Hobbs.
Right.
But now we're at Shaw's headquarters. Letty just gets back there, tells some mechanic dude, hey, you might need to take out some dents or something. And then she walks in, and they have all the information on Dom's team already.
Yeah. They have a binder, and it's just like, they have all the information on them already. Yeah. Including a picture that was taken from a still frame from one of the movies.
This was taken.
Oh man, it would have been so funny if they busted out a manila folder and it was just like, this was taken a week ago. And it's just a picture of Letty.
Yeah.
I don't know, it seemed important to the other guys. So they have all the, I mean, they're like baseball cards. They've got all the stats for Dom and his crew, man. And then they have a picture of Letty and Dom together. Yeah. And Shaw isn't even phased, but
so cutting back to when cutting back to when Letty shoots Dom. Yeah. She has the weirdest look. Like, she gives this lost in the sauce look. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then she jumps back in the car and drives away. And then, so we find out here that Letty, like, Shaw asked Letty, do you remember, or who is this guy?
Right.
And she's like, oh, that's the guy I shot. So we found out she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
And so
we've got a 51st date situation going on over here, guys.
Letty apparently has amnesia.
She
does not remember. And then cut back. You ready to cut back to Dom's Batcave?
Okay, back at Dom's Batcave. There's more. Okay, so
they also have.
I feel like just like out of the movie. Like, I don't know what happened, but did you notice that The Rock has way less fight time in this movie? Like, he's just in a lot of standing around scenes.
Yeah.
Like, he shows up at the end.
That's true.
But, like, he's just basically there to talk.
Yeah. He's the one-line guy. Yeah.
He's just the one-line guy at
the the long-liner guy.
He's like the chief of FBI in the old Fast movies, right? Like, he's just at headquarters. So every time he's in a shot, he's either arriving at the scene
Right.
and saying a one-liner, or like in this part, he's just progressing the mission story. So
Right.
now he's saying,
so far, throwing the guy against the roof and jumping off of the bridge is action scenes, right?
Right. Yeah, so far, yeah. So he shows up. He says they ripped off a database of every location that has the final component they need. So the next 4 days.
Are you gonna skip over that they have all the information on the bad guys?
They do, right?
They do, and like Rome says it's their evil twins.
Yeah.
He's like, look at this guy. He's the handsome black dude. Of course, that's me.
Yeah.
And then he calls the big Hulk guy the White Hobbs.
The White Hobbs, right.
And then he makes a joke about Brian being the pretty blonde girl. He's like, hey, Brian, when did you do this photo shoot? And Brian laughs it off and gives him some sign language back.
Yeah.
And but I thought that part was pretty funny. Funny way to introduce the bad guys.
Yeah.
And but that's when Hobbs comes in, and the CCTV is mentioned, right?
Yeah, because Hobbs says, okay, so we only have 4 days to get this done, and like every movie so far, they have less than a week. Always 48 hours, 72 hours, 4 days.
Right.
So they're like, we're gonna need eyes around the city, so let's go to the CCTV headquarters, right?
Yeah. Right.
And Hobbs goes with Gina.
Yes.
Yeah. So they go to the CCTV headquarters, and basically the guys there have been turning off the cameras conveniently whenever the crimes have been happening, right? So Hobbs gets the live feed by shaking the guy's hands and breaking all his bones in his hands.
Is that? I don't think that part happens yet, right?
Oh, it's not the CCTV part.
I think they talk about the CCTV. But then they talk about the car
show for
the car show. They start breaking down the car. So they go to buy the car, and so Hobbs and Tej, right?
Yeah.
Tej.
Yeah.
They go to an auction, right? And they're standing around.
Fancy auction.
Fancy.
Everybody's in suits.
Auction. Yeah.
The Rock's wearing Under Armour.
Yeah.
And like cargo pants. And Tej is wearing just like I don't know, like a sweater or a jumpsuit or something. I don't know. And everybody's wearing suits at that party, right? And they get Pretty Woman by the auctioneer. He comes out just like, I don't think you'll find anything that you'd be interested in here.
Are you guys the help?
He says, the help has a separate entrance, but finish your champagne.
Yeah. And Tej is like, this guy needs to pay for that. Yeah. And Hobbs is like, you're not stealing the cars. Tej is like, I got this. And so this is when it starts really cutting from scene to scene, and was really hard for me to take notes. But they cut to, I call this scene the harpoon guy. All right, this is where, so we got Han, we have Rome, and then we have Gina Carano and Wonder Woman.
Right. So we got Gina, Wonder Woman, Han, Rome, and somebody else.
Yeah. They're just the four of them, I think.
Yeah.
And then they look down at this industrial area, and some dude is shooting a harpoon gun into a concrete slab, right? And they're
it looks like the harpoon gun from the first Fast and Furious.
Yes. They're like, none of them were there.
And Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah. They like harpoon guns in this series. So they're like, that's our guy. And Han and Rome are about to go down, but Wonder Woman is like, I got this. Like, he's a man.
I thought she was going to take off her jacket and be in a bikini like the last movie.
Yeah. we don't need fingerprints, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You can put your shirt back on.
She's like, trust me, you always need fingerprints.
Yeah. Okay, so that's happening. So they're about to go down and take care of this dude or ask some questions or whatever. And then it cuts to Brian and Dom talking about the gun that Letty had. And he's some kind of gun expert now because he's been a cop for a long time.
3 years. Nope.
3 years. And he's like, I found the only place in all of the world that you can buy this gun.
Right.
And so
of course.
it's a pawn shop. Right.
Yeah.
and so they head off to a pawn shop. Cuts back to Han and Rome talking about how Han's in love and all this stuff. And they have a funny exchange there where he's like, you gotta buy her a big ring or something, or it's gotta be big somewhere else.
And then Han says,
like, yeah, what
no wonder all the he goes, no wonder all the girls you're with have a lot of big jewelry.
That's a quick
Han,
one,
man.
Han.
No wonder you got Wonder Woman.
He's got the snappy ones.
Yep.
And so cuts down to Wonder Woman and Gina Carano talking to the guy, and I guess he tries to like touch Gina Carano, and she pretty much throws him in an arm bar and a different arm lock, and is like about to break his arm or something, and he finally like says, okay, I'll help you, right? And they're looking for the Ram cars because he's the guy that could build the Batmobiles,
right.
And
but he busts out his phone on the side.
Yes.
And he dials Shaw, and he's basically letting Shaw listen in on what's happening.
Yep.
So Shaw's goons are on their way to Gina them's location.
And then that's when they cut back to the pawn shop, where Brian and Dom go into this pawn shop. They ask the pawn shop owner for the gun to find the girl, and he beats up two pawn shop goons, and Brian like puts a gun in some other dude's face that's trying to come in, and then so
Brian's just there for moral support. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
It was great.
And then
I kind of like it.
yeah, and because it works out because Dom grabs this guy from behind this bulletproof glass and like slams his head, and it's like, tell me where Rachel is. And he's
exactly.
like, and so he gets it out of him, knocks the guy out. So they know that it's going to be at a street race, right? Because street racers are at street races, right?
Yeah.
So that's Letty is a street racer, and so they go after that. Cut back to Wonder Woman with the harpoon guy, and the goons show up. It's actually two goons, and Letty show up. These goons end up shooting up the place, shooting the guy, harpoon guy.
Yeah.
The two girls that were with him don't get shot, but Rome and Han, they see this happening, so they jump down from where they were and they start coming in. So there's a shootout, and Letty is like confused, like she has that look on her face again that she has.
I feel like that's her resting face, so they wrote that into this movie.
Yeah.
Like don't know how to act.
Good acting, Letty.
Amazing.
Keep it.
More of that. Let's just go with that.
So they start shooting out, and what I realized at this point is if you're a goon, you're gonna run out of ammo because both of the goons run out of ammo. Well, Letty and the other guy run out of ammo, and they both run into the subway, right? And so Gina Carano pursues Letty, and then Rome and Han chase after this dude. His name is Ja.
So Ja is my favorite goon. So I feel like Ja is short for Jason Bourne, because this whole chase scene, I was like, this is a Jason Bourne chase scene.
Yeah.
They're
feel like that.
They're chasing through the subway system, like, dodging people.
Yeah.
And Ja, he makes it through. He's parkouring up a storm, getting around people, and he comes upon like 8 police officers, and he dispatches of all 8 of them. Like,
like Jackie Chan, Jet Li style. Like,
dude, it reminded me of the Jason Bourne style fighting, and like, and then Rome and Han, bless their souls. They show up. And, dude, this fight is so good because they get beat up.
Like
they just look like regular dudes trying their best against Jason Bourne. Like, oh my gosh.
And then at one point, they like both get kicked back, and then Han was like, "You go." And I was like, "No, you go."
That was so funny. They're holding each other back. I was like, "No."
That was like a full-on Jackie Chan fight, like move right there. It cuts back to, so it's cutting back and forth. Gina Carano is beating up on Letty, or they're kind of having a back and forth.
This is a good fight. It's at the top of the stairs, and at one point Gina is like gonna handcuff Letty to the rail, and I was like, oh, that's it. But then Letty takes the handcuffs and makes it into like what do you call?
Which I feel like is with like a iron knuckles. Steel knuckles?
Brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
Oh man. I feel like we would be Rome and Han in this situation.
Well, it was so funny. But Letty ends up tackling Gina Carano down some stairs.
Dude, that was a crazy stunt.
Her, I'm not out, but like she's out of it.
They're Terminators. They land on their heads.
Yeah, and they move on. It's all good.
Pop up.
She jumps on a train and takes off. The other guy, so the Ja, how he finishes a fight is awesome because he does a WWE style double foot drop kick, roam through a glass wall, and as he's falling, people's elbows right on top of Han. And he just gets up and walks away like nothing.
He walks away. And you know what the funniest thing about this scene is? So we just see Letty leave on the train. We see Ja walk away. The next immediate scene is Letty and Ja pulling up in the Land Rover at Ja's Batcave.
But before that, sometime while all that was happening, we forgot to mention that Wonder Woman was with Harpoon Guy, and she found out some information that I feel like was worthless in the end. But anyway, she's like,
I don't even remember.
Tell me something, and I'll make Shaw pay. And he like reaches for his phone to give her, and he says, Braga. And if you have seen the last movies, Braga is the bad guy from, I believe, the 2 movies ago. No,
not
2
the
movies
last
ago.
movie. The movie
that was
before
Reyes.
this. Right.
Before that,
Braga was the guy that we thought was the henchman, but turned out he was the cartel leader.
Yes.
And at first, I thought he was like Brada, and I was like, Blockbuster Bradas. Speaking to me, you talking to me? Yeah.
We're in the movie, guys.
This is Brazil.
They knew this was gonna happen. But I was like, oh snap.
Well, but you know what else is crazy? It was crazy about that scene. After she finds out Braga, she gets shot at by a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
This guy pulls up on a motorcycle and full on firing like 100 rounds at Wonder Woman. None of the bullets hit her. And she pulls out her sidearm and she shoots once, and she hits him while he's moving on a motorcycle.
Yes. And so what you didn't see was that she had her whip, her rope of because she moved really fast.
Her gauntlets,
she blocked it, and then used her rope to hold him in place so that she could shoot him. So that's what was happening on the.
Dang, I gotta watch that part again and pause it.
Yeah, slow motion. Yeah, go frame by frame on that one.